Okay, so hello everybody and welcome. We are basically doing an online sharing of Peaceophobia. Normally we'd do this in real life and it would be really good to have people with us in real life, but because we couldn't do that, we thought we'd do this instead. So this is a bit of an alternative. We're not quite sure how it'll work, so bear with us just to, be patient with us to see how this works. But the idea is that the team will all introduce themselves and the section of the piece that they've worked on, and a little bit about the R&D, and then we'll watch a video which is about 20 minutes long. And whilst we're watching the video, it'd be really great if you could do, if audience, people watching want to write questions in the Q&A box. So as you're watching it, you can write the questions, and then at the end, we'll do a bit of a discussion. So as you're writing questions, if you can say, this question is directed at Zia about the script, or this question is for the actors, or this question is for Speaker's Corner. So if you just let us know that in the Q&A, that'd be really useful. And we'll just try it out because we don't really know how this is going to work. But if people also want to introduce themselves in the chat, that would be great, so we know who's here and where they're from and stuff like that. So yeah, I'll hand over to Iram, who's going to tell you a little bit more about the project as a whole.
Hi everyone, my name's Iram. I co-run Speaker's Corner, and I'm just going to let you know where the idea of Peaceophobia came from. So a few years back, a lot of people in power were portraying Islam in a very negative way, and because of that there was a lot of backlash. I don't know if many of you heard about the Punish a Muslim Day, where people would be rewarded with points to punish or harass a Muslim. And as a young Muslim at the time, I felt as if I needed to do something. So we came up with the idea of Peaceophobia. The idea came from the fact that Islam means peace, so how could you possibly have a phobia of peace? And yeah, we had our first event in the middle of Bradford, and we also wanted to present the fact that not all young Muslim men in Bradford who drive amazing cars are drug dealers. A lot of them are successful men, and to challenge that stereotype, we decided to hold an event in the centre of Bradford. We had a car meetup where a lot of people came, attended, and they just loved the atmosphere. We received a lot of positive feedback, and that's why now we've come together to create a play that hopefully will be amazing. I'm just going to introduce Ali now for you. He works for the Bradford Modified Club, and he's going to talk a bit about that now. Ali?
He's on mute.
Ali's on mute. Don't know if he can. Can you hear us, Ali?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, so I'm Ali. I run a car club called Bradford Modified Club. If you haven't already, it's on Facebook. You can check it out. Just type in Bradford Modified Club in the search bar, and I will approve you as soon as I'm free. But yeah, apart from that, I'm an actor in this piece, this Peaceophobia play. I mean, throughout the whole thing so far, the R&Ds, we've discovered so much. We've kind of, I feel like personally, we've kind of got what we're looking for in terms of sending the message out. We've got the right message. We're sending it out, which is, you know, it's what Iram was talking about the young Asian lads being drug dealers, driving nice, fast, expensive cars even. So yeah, it's coming together really well. I mean, it's only been a week or two in total, and yeah, we've uncovered so much. I'm really looking forward to it, and thanks to everyone involved so far. Yeah, also part of the campaign Peaceophobia, I was involved in that. The car meetup, organised it all, went really well. My father has been doing a lot of research around cars. He's got a book that's available for pre-order called Cars, and that again is about class, taste, and yeah, just again, it's talking about the stigma, the stereotypes, why a Range Rover makes somebody status than other people on the road, etc., etc. But anyway, I'll leave the rest to Zia.
Yeah.
Zia?
Well, thank you, Ali. I'm Zira. I'm gonna. So yeah, I'm writing the show with the boys and everyone with Speakers Corner. We're all sort of putting the thing together. So what you're gonna see is most of the stuff, the text has come from sort of recordings over R&D that so stories directly from the boys, and I think the hope is to sort of add more sort of poetic elements in the next R&D. So at the moment it's pretty close to what they said, but we've tried a few sort of poetic elements, and yeah, there's going to be a lot of trimming down to do as well. But we've got pretty much the whole structure kind of planned out, which we did over the week, and I think that's cool. The three main themes. I mean, for the Q&A, hoping to talk mainly about cars and Islamophobia. So like trying to get a balance. That is one of the key things that we're hoping as well, to get a balance across the three themes. So yeah, let us know the thoughts in the box. I'm going to pass on to Sahil. So we'll chat about cars and sort of, yeah.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name's Sahil. Yeah, I just like cars. What can I say? What we did in the R&D, I mean, when we got together, there was a lot of content that I was actually quite surprised how actually it all came together, because for me at the beginning, I thought, how is this all going to get together? And it wasn't working out in my head. And now that I've seen it all come into play, I've seen the timelines, I've seen the script, and I mean, everyone's done a really, really good job, and I'm actually proud to be a part of it. And I mean, the aspect, the side that I was dealing with was with, it was detail inside. So what I do is well, to be fair, you need to really have a lot of OCD to do detailing. And I'm just trying to educate people about how precious people's cars are. And like, even if you lean on them, it shows that's disrespect. If you lean on someone's car, even touching someone's car, you can scratch it. Yeah, it's all coming together really nicely. I mean, just like Iram said, like a lot of people think, well, some people think I'm doing something dodgy because I've got all these cars, but I'm not, because I'm a civil servant, so I can't do anything dodgy. So yeah, it's really nice where you can actually show people, look, we're just ordinary people who've got a passion, and it's not something illegal that we're doing. We're actually doing it because, I mean, if we weren't doing anything, if you're doing anything except cars, it might be something illegal, but this is our getaway where we're not doing anything illegal, we're not doing drugs, we're not doing alcohol or anything like that. The money goes into the cars, and sometimes it works out as an investment. So it's a win-win situation, the way I see it in my mind, in cars. So yeah, that's just a little bit about me and what I'm doing in the R&D. And I forgot who's next, but
Rose next.
Yeah.
Hi. So I'm the set and costume designer on this show, and the space that we're using to perform Peaceophobia in is a car park in the middle of Bradford. That we've got the whole floor of a car park, and we chatted about lots of different ideas to do with design, kind of similar to Zia. They're kind of quite poetic, some of them, but there is a kind of key design thing that will take us through the show, which is we're going to build a car kind of throughout the course of the show. So when we when you first come into the space, there'll be a shell of a car with an engine in, but no bonnet on and no seats in. And as we like go through the journey with these guys, the car will get more and more built. And so at the beginning, the car is stationary, and at the end, the car can drive away. And yeah, I guess the building of the car means that there's lots of kind of exciting images that we can create using things like angle grinders and putting lights in, and that all feels really active and exciting. Yeah, and there's a few different, I don't know, maybe Zia will talk about this a bit more, but there's kind of different stages to the text or to the way the show progresses, and each one of those has a kind of design element to go with it, or a design element that we're trying out. Oh, and Wojciech's going to talk a bit about sound.
Hi, so I'm Wojciech, and I'm doing the sound and music for the show. And so it looks like you come into a car park, an outdoor car park, and there are speakers around the audience, and there are also 3 cars which are parked. And we're going to use the cars and their own sound systems to create music. And the cars sometimes talk to each other as well with a pre-recorded voice. You're all frozen now, so I don't know if anybody can hear me. Also, and yeah, I mean, it's kind of exciting because the cars make incredibly scary sounds, but also we're going to add something to it and perhaps play some music or some other sounds. And the idea is to use a sort of multi-channel system, which creates an environment where the sounds are coming from all directions. And also use the cars as sort of in a kind of see the cars as this kind of beautiful sculptural objects with its own sound systems. And so we're gonna play some very loud bass through it probably, and some other things. There's also an idea of actually creating music and sort of single channels of the music. So for example, if there's a classical piece, there will be a flute coming out from the Golf, and then the percussion is coming from the Supra, and the vocals are coming from all the other speakers. So I'm really excited about the kind of mechanics and the sonic possibilities that the show will hopefully, show will show. Yeah, that's it from me.
And then I think Sajda was going to go next.
Hi, I'm Sajda. I'm one of the co-directors from Speakers Corner, and I'm also an assistant producer from Commonwealth. So the way this whole kind of big collaboration is working with almost 10 directors nearly is from Speakers Corner is that every member of Speakers Corner is kind of working as part of the production as well. So we have one person who's working with Zia on the script, another person working with Rosie on the set, and someone working with Wojciech, someone working with stage manager. So we're all, as well as being part of the kind of how it'll look, we're also part of everything that's going to go into it, so like the script and everything. And at first it was really kind of difficult for us to kind of imagine how everyone's gonna be part of it, but obviously it's working out and it's looking so great, and it's so cool to see how it's all coming together. And Molly?
Hello, thanks everyone for coming. I'm Molly. I'm a producer at Fuel, and Fuel are co-producing Peaceophobia with Commonwealth. Yeah, we have a big ambition to tour this work. We feel like lots of people need to see it, lots of people need to hear it, and we want to connect with communities all over the country, and also the car communities, modified car communities all over the country. It's all, you know, been thrown up in the air a little bit with the current situation with the pandemic, but we are kind of flexible and open for all kinds of different partnerships. So if you are interested after this in chatting to us more, I'll pop my email address in the chat box so you can get in touch with me about how we might work together, and also just if you have any feedback or thoughts about this sharing and about the work, that'd be great. Just to reiterate for those people who've joined since I said it, we are recording this Zoom just so that we can share it with colleagues in the industry who can't be here. If you've got any comments, pop them in the comments box, and if you have any questions for any of the team who are here, please use the Q&A function, and if it's directed at someone specific, let us know who it's directed at, and we'll come back to that at the end. But yeah, thanks for being here.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks everyone for joining us. It's amazing actually to do this. So just before we play the video is about 20 minutes long, and it's very rough. We made it at the end of 5 days last week, so we had a really incredible week where we generated and devised a lot of content, and it was a very creative week, but we've still not really developed much of the staging or much of the kind of performance elements. So because we were obviously in a social distance rehearsal, we were only ever allowed 15 minutes face-to-face contact. So there's a lot of staging that isn't necessarily developed, and staging around the cars that we haven't been able to develop fully yet because of power. As Wojtek mentioned, the cars will talk to each other. So sometimes the cars play the character of the gut or subconscious, and sometimes the cars play the police officer or security voices. So you will see that on the video. So I just wanted to explain that, because it's not, because you're not there, you won't see that, but hopefully you can imagine that the way it's been filmed. And yeah, we really would love to hear like feedback and any questions at all. So please do use the Q&A, but also you can contact us separately outside of this format. But yeah, please do, as you're watching the video, just feel free to put questions in as they come up. And I think now Zia is going to share the video, so hopefully this all goes to plan.
Yeah, let's do this. No, there's a tiny little skip at the beginning, but it should be fine after that. Here we go.
I got a new chap and I've told the cats in these curtains. He threw me a bird and I jerked him. Me and him ain't squares and I burst him. I dash packs and I drop packs on the workman. I've got stacks just for certain. I'm missed off, but I'm hurting. I'm with my bro with urgent. I just buy straps for no reason.
One, when you're at a car show, don't lean on anyone's car. If you lean on anyone's car, then a lot of people are going to start thinking, what the heck are you doing?
2, do not touch anyone else's car. They've spent time and effort polishing this car. Let's say my car. You touch it, now there's a fingerprint on there. Straight away it sticks out like a sore thumb.
Respect a person's car build. No matter how crazy it looks, it's their car. They can do what they want to it. They put their time and effort into it. Respect their build. It might not be to your taste, but it's their car.
4, when you're in a car show, please do not drive fast in car parks. Anything can happen. I've seen it before. When someone goes fast, I pulled out, bang. And before you know it, everyone remembers a car show where cars get crashed. No one likes to come.
I'm a security guard. I'm outside a bar, working the doors. A white woman comes towards me, pissed out of her head. She grabs me by my beard and she says, "Why have you got this? Are you one of them?" I say, "One of who?" She says, "One of them lot." I say, "Yeah, and if I am?" She says, "Why are you here for?" I say, "I don't know. You tell me. I'm part of them lot, but I'm protecting you at the same time." She says, "Oh, that don't make sense." I say, "I know." I say, "I know. So why are you saying it then? How can I be protecting you if I'm one of them lot?" She says, "Oh, I didn't think of it like that." And that was the last day at the job.
My missus is doing a therapy course in BD3. She says to me, "Do you know what that woman said to me last week after you dropped me off?" I said, "Oh, what?" My missus said, "She saw you in your car and then asked me shortly after, 'Oh, is your husband a drug dealer?' Cheeky bitch."
I walk my dog, bump into a dog walker, white woman. We get talking. The dogs are playing with each other. She sees 2 people she knows. We go over and she's like, "He's all right, He's not like the other Asian lads. He's trying to socialize his dog."
Automobiles or you murdered out?
A car that's just been blacked out top to bottom.
There's not a single other colour out there.
So it'd be black alloys and black wheels.
Black badges, black lights.
Black tints, black you name it. Everything black. That's your Batmobile or you murdered out.
Black car, brown boy, blue lights, white cop.
I see 4 male, police code for brown boy. I see 3 male, police code for black boy.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Forget that, bro.
We're magicians. We're magicians. We can turn invisible and hypervisible at the same time. In the past 2 weeks, I've been stopped twice. Sometimes it depends on what car I'm in. My silver Golf, it were lowered, black wheels, black spoiler, black mirrors. I'd get stopped 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times in a month, pulled over for just checks. Oh yeah, we've seen you here, we've seen you there. Have you got anything on you that you shouldn't have? Have you got any convictions? My car's been searched and stuff too. Not even for speeding. Sometimes they just pull me over to check, and it's embarrassing. I mean, look, it's Bradford. News travels fast. People driving past just start to Snapchat you. Then it comes out that you've been stopped. Somebody makes a rumour. He had drugs on him. He's getting sent down. Shit you just don't need in your life. Don't bring out the demons. They bring out the demons. I try keep them at bay. I've got about 8, the German made. One's called Wolfgang. That demon boils my blood and sharpens my teeth. One's called Ingrid. That demon makes my heart rate go from about 60 to 120 in 2 seconds flat. Fritz just sits on my chest and makes it hard to breathe.
8 a.m. Wake up, go to work. 10 a.m. Fuck's sake. First customer of the day. She thinks she can return this from another shop. 12 p.m. Lunch, go to Subway. 4 p.m. stare at the clock. 7 p.m. finish work. 8 p.m. jump in my friend's car. 9 p.m. drive to Leeds. 10 minutes past 9, pull up at the petrol station. 9:15, comes all of a sudden running towards me. I'm there looking. That lady next to me, it's gonna be her. It's gonna be that old lady, not me. 9:15, handcuffs thrown in the van. Read my rights. 9:17, what the fuck is going on here? Nobody's telling me. 9:30, I'm at the police station. They ask me questions. Then they say, take off my belt, take off your shoes, put them in a bag. 9:30, bang, put me in a cell. The mattress is blue. I don't even know what time it is anymore. There's just a little small window there, and I don't even know how long I've been here now. I'd say about 12 p.m. Oh, do you need a solicitor? Obviously not. 4 p.m. interview. Oh, what happened? 4:30. Oh, actually, you can go back to your cell now. 6 p.m. You're free to go. No further action. Fucking time wasters. Okay. Chance with the lads, drive to Hull. So my gut starts speaking. I got a funny feeling, Casper. Just ride it out. I don't know. We're used to it. Look at all the cameras. We're all good. Approach the checkpoint. Look at that copper. He's giving us weird looks. Leave it out. Don't stress. Our passports get checked all the time. Shit. I swear, don't make me hit you. The guy at the check-in desk looks at the copper who was looking at us. I told you. He then asked us to come with him. Where's he taking us? We've done nothing wrong, just ride it out. We're in a room. Where's he?
What's your destination?
Amsterdam.
What's the purpose of the visit?
Business.
What kind of business?
I hand him a card and he looks at it.
How do you know each other?
I don't like where this is going. Oh, shit.
What's inside your luggage?
Clothes. Shit. What's the time?
You won't mind if we take a look then?
Go ahead. What if he finds something? Are you kidding me? I saw him pack. I know, I'm sorry. I just don't like this. I don't either, but we've done nothing wrong, so just ride it out.
Your main bags too. We're going to miss the ferry. We're going to miss the ferry. We're going to take a look in the car.
What are you looking for?
I don't know. You tell me.
Go look then. He goes through the car and through the spare tire. What if you plant something? What? For fuck's sake, we'll be fine.
Is the car insured?
Yeah.
To take abroad?
Yep.
Well then, you won't mind giving the insurance company a ring for me, will you? Confirm everything's above board.
If we miss the ferry, can we get on the next one? Just ride it out, G. We're nearly there. He speaks to them and he gives me back the phone.
Okay, you're good to go. Have a nice trip.
Fucking prick. And that's just trying to leave the country. They've probably bugged my car, bugged my phone, and at this moment, I don't care. I've done no wrong and I've got no to hide. So all I've got to do is just ride it out.
I know no road in Mexico.
And then I'm in second gear and there's a long stretch of road. And I have to make sure that on that road, there's no giveways, there's no lefts, and there's no rights. It's literally just a straight road so no one can pull out on you. Literally, the cars just have to go straight. So I've gone down the road and I've come back up the road just to make sure that there's no police or anything else that pops out on the sides or anything like that. And I've gone back down again and I've come up. And that's when I feel myself getting excited. I mean, I click on the high boost button and I'm in second gear. I'm thinking, shall I put my foot down in second gear or shall I not? It's a warm day and yeah, the tyres should hold it. So I put my foot down in second gear.
Second gear, trees on either side. I'm just looking at the rev range, so I've probably about 6,000 to 7,000 revs. Change the gear, back wheels twitch, make me gas. And it's a shock in my stomach, but then I put it in third and it's okay. So I start straighten up a little bit, put my foot down, and then you know it. I thought, okay, right, I'm going all the way up.
My adrenaline's pumping, my heart's racing, I'm in my zone, hit 9,000 revs. Once you hit 9,000 revs, all you can hear is bang, 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 bang. The exhaust letting off flames. 120, I go into fourth, everything just goes blurry. It's like tunnel vision. Everything just goes so fast past you, you cannot see what's going to come. Fifth gear, all you can hear is bang, 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 bang. Flames coming out of the back. I'm doing, I don't know, 140 maybe. I'm not looking. All I'm doing is trying to look at the road straight ahead as far as I can see.
I've never in all my life had to use my mind to that degree. Like if someone says you need to do an exam, I've never ever tried so hard in exams. Nothing like that. But when it comes to cars, I put my 120% in. All that energy goes into that. When it comes to sixth gear, the dangerous gear, that makes the car like a bubbling noise. It's like a kettle boiling. When the turbo starts to spoon, and when it's in sixth gear, before you know it, 160.
My car feels like it's about to start flying.
180.
Like literally come off its four fucking wheels.
190.
It feels like I'm leaving my body into another dimension. It's hard when your adrenaline takes over because it's so fucking angry and evil. It takes over your body. It takes over your senses. It takes over everything. Blocks all these things out which make you feel irresponsible. It's just fucking immense. I've been really trying to control it. That much power, your car's just going and it wants more and it's just whispering in your ear, push me a little harder, push me a little harder, and you're doing it. And every second you're going over the speed limit, you're happy, you're buzzing. It's not even a sad thing, otherwise you wouldn't really do it, would you? You're just happy. It just takes you away into like a different feel. I can't explain it, but my body is just taken over. My body just gets taken over.
Your heart's beating fast, it's like someone's taking drugs. And then they're just awake, they're wide awake. Whoa, what just happened there? You feel alive. It's just that buzz you get, and it's one of them addictive buzzers. When you want to do it again and again and again. But when you do it 160, you know that's probably 2 years in jail for you. But I don't think about that. I've got a nice job, I've got everything. But I lay it all down on the line just to go fast in a straight line and be like, you know what, I don't care. So if I get caught, a police officer will probably take my car, give me a 2-year jail sentence. I'll probably have my license taken off me. But it doesn't matter at the time, nothing matters. You just want to do it because that's what you enjoy. At the end of it, it's just a big release. Everything just opens up. It's like a breath of fresh air, a really big breath of fresh air.
When I'm in my car, I am in control. Ish. I mean, God's in control. If God wants to burst my tyre at 120 miles per hour, then so be it. But that's God's plan. But technically speaking, I'm in control. Oh shit, we need to brake now. I need to brake more. My car's taking the traction control out on ABS system. I'm braking. I need to brake from 180 back to 30, back to 20. Imagine how hot the brakes are going to be, how much friction that's going to cause. I go, I brake, I'm braking. Oh shit, there's a roundabout. My brakes are feeling spongy. I need to brake. Oh shit, am I going to make it? Am I not? Am I going to? My timing's perfect.
I walk through white areas in my thobe, and I wear it most of the time. People are always telling me, why do you instigate it? Not everything is to prove a point. It's comfy, feel it. These are my clothes, I walk. It's not a statement. These are my pavements. These are my roads, I walk. This is my city. I love this city, and I walk like I drive. It's in a straight line, and I walk. Islam teaches you not to fear death, so why would I be scared of life? I'm driven by my faith, and I walk. I accelerate, I brake, and I walk. When I say this is my city, I'm not saying it's not yours. All I'm saying is mine too, and I walk.
I mean, you want to feel everything. You want to feel everything. And when adrenaline runs through your body, it's when you feel most alive. And when I'm in that place, I feel most free. And when I'm in that place, I feel most me. I've got too much pride. I've got my joy. You can call it a witch or you can call it a toy. And oh boy, you've got one shot with life. You either live it wrong or you live it right. Because I call myself a straight rider because I ride till I die. And if we meet eye to eye, you might not like that attitude. But I find it hard to trust you dudes. Not to sound rude, but I've been in the darkest places, in the darkest hours. So fuck you and fuck who give you the power. Darkness from depression, overthinking is what trapped me. My car was there and my car was ready to back me. Got to stand up for my mum to sit relaxing. Cars are me and cars are my blessing. So stop trying to fuck with me and stop trying to stress me. When I'm scared, I read Ayatul Kursi for protection. Allahu la illahu al-hayyul qayyum la ta'khudhu sinatu wa la nawm lahu ma fis samawati wa ma fil ard man zal ladhi yashfu indahu illa bi idhnihi ya'lamu ma bayna aydihim wa ma khalfahum wa la yuhituna bi shay'in min ilmihi illa bima sha'a wasi'a kursiyyu samawati wal ard wa la yu'udu hifdhuhuma wa huwa al-aliyyul azim. The thing about ghosts is that they have ghosts too. The ghost of the riot is the ghost of the riot. Is the ghost of the riot. Is the ghost of the riot. Of those who were told to be quiet, who were told to be quiet, who were told to be quiet and take it. The truth is, it's hard to swallow, whether you hear it, whether you keep it in. It stays in your belly. Who knew ghosts could feel so heavy? I go up the road, I see my demons dancing and waking up the ghost. 81, 95, 2001.
Private number, ignore it. Private number, ignore it. Normal number, answer it.
Lee Harrison from the police.
Blah, blah, blah.
Can I have a chat with you?
I say, chat about what? Lee says,
we'd like you to come to the police station.
I say, listen, I don't know who you are and I'm not coming nowhere. Lee says,
it's urgent. We'll set up a meeting.
Let's see how urgent. I don't show up. They arrange another one. I don't show up again. They arrange another. I don't show up again. Dad says,
what's the worst that could happen?
I say, I don't know, Dad. They haven't told me why they're calling me in and it doesn't sit well with me. Do they want to question me on someone in my circle? Or question me on something that I've done? I haven't done anything, so fuck it. I go. I show up late on purpose. I'm not even in the station yet, and the doors are already opening. It's like they've already been watching. They take me straight into the back room and they have this big recorder kind of thing on one side of the table. A man and woman sat there in casual clothes, no uniform. He says,
I'm Andrew, this is Claire.
I say, you obviously know who I am, so everything okay? They say,
everything's okay. You're not in trouble. You went to Amsterdam a couple of months ago.
I say, yeah, why? They say,
what was the reason for going?
I say, I told the officers there, it was strictly for business purposes. He says,
who did you go with?
She says,
how old are you?
He says,
where do you live?
She says,
what do you do?
He says,
how can you afford a car like this?
At that time, I had a white Audi A6. Why this? Why that? hold my tongue. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna control my own footsteps. I'm not gonna wait for them to maneuver me where they want me to maneuver. She says.
Okay, we're going to ask you a few questions. What do you think of human trafficking in Bradford?
I say, are you for real? He says.
Yeah, why?
I tried to hold my tongue. I say, officers, sir, madam, if you don't mind me asking, how long have you been in Bradford? Me and you know damn well there's no human trafficking in Bradford, especially in our Asian populated area. She says.
What makes you say that?
I say, because me and you know how Asians would deal with it if they knew human trafficking was going on and taking place within their own communities. They'd do a better job than you guys ever would do. They deal with things a lot faster, a lot quicker, and a lot more effective than you do. You guys never come when we call you. And even if you do, it's always late. You've never taken us seriously unless we say there's threat to life. So why would I want to help you when you guys don't ever want to help us? Ask me what you want to ask me, just cut straight to the chase. He says.
What about drugs?
Listen, I say, me and you both, right? I say, listen, me and you both know it's rife. Every Tom, Dick and Harry is doing it. It doesn't take a genius to figure out who's running it in Bradford. We all know that you know Bradford's full of it. I'm not going to do your job for you. She says.
Do you know anybody who sympathises with terrorists?
I say, seriously, you're asking me? Like, why are you asking me? He says.
We like you, Gasper. We want you to come on board with us. Help us tackle these kinds of behaviour.
I say, I'm not going to join you, but I'll give you a better alternative. He says.
What's that?
I say, write a formal letter to all the deputies and all the head teachers of all the mosques in Bradford. Sit down with them and talk to each other about how to tackle terrorism and drugs in Bradford with.
You know,
I say, believe you me, I'm not going to grass. But if I knew somebody's thinking like that or somebody's doing drugs, I'd rather help them than put them in a prison where you lot are. It's overcrowded anyway, and you lot are complaining about it. And then you want to put more people in there. For what? I know people whose houses have been raided by MI5, and since then they've been traumatized. I'm done with this conversation. I came here voluntarily, and now I'm going to leave. I tell you one thing, hats off to the guys of Bradford. After everyone's pulling out, it was like we were pulling ourselves from some slumdog. We started from zero, and now it's like, shit, we should have got into Bradford. We should have invested into the city. Why? Because these guys started from zero. They didn't get anything on a plate, and now you'll see a lot of entrepreneurs. You'll see how many businesses are successful. The best food you can get is in Bradford now. We've got so much variety here. Our youngsters have come a long way. It's the unity, and it's us lot supporting one another.
When I had my car business, everyone was just blasting it on Snapchat. Before you know it, I was like, shit, I can't handle it. But now everyone's starting to help everyone out now.
Bradford has the most self-employed businesses in the country.
Sometimes I think to myself, Bradford is genuinely a world of its own. It's got its own laws, its own politics, and its own economy. Everyone's trying to help one another. Nobody gives a shit about what Bojo says in the House of Parliament. Everyone's doing their own thing.
It's a connection. It's the car meet. If it weren't for the car meet, I wouldn't have met them.
No, stop shit. Cool.
Hi. Hello?
Yep.
Hear me?
Yeah.
We've got one question so far in the Q&A box. So if people do want to add questions into there, that's great. The question at the minute, thank you, Angela Brown for the applause. Thanks everyone for watching that. We know it was rough, and we know that the sound quality wasn't the best for everyone because people were texting, but I think it worked enough for most people. So yeah, I hope you got a taste of it, and that was probably about 40% of the script so far, and it's still in development. So I've just got a question here, which I think it'd be really great if Zia and Iram could answer. So the question is, wondering about the role of women in these stories and about the choice to focus on these male characters.
Yeah, answer live. Yeah. So yeah, that was 20 minutes, so we had about, I guess, an hour's worth or something. I think that is something, yeah, we need to work on to sort of clarify the role of women in the show. It's like we got like I guess stories about mothers and partners and just general Bradford population. But yeah, that is something with working with Speakers Corner we need to make more present in the next draft. Yeah, Iram or such stuff.
Yeah. So during the beginning of the planning process, so when we had meetings before the R&Ds, this was one issue. We didn't know whether we should include the women and then the men, and it being really like complicated, because we didn't want the audience to feel as if they're going on a journey that becomes really complex, and we don't want. Yeah, so we decided to mainly focus it on men, but there are going to be hints and subtle like facts about women through the characters, as Zia said. So we are working on it. I think this was the first proper R&D where we could actually go through the script and we work through the ideas. So we are working on that. But yeah, if anyone has any more suggestions they want to include, we're more than happy to include them.
Yeah, thanks, Iram.
Yeah.
Also, Sajda, do you want to just talk about the photography project as well quickly, just because that's something else that will tour with the show? So I don't know if you want to talk about that, Sajda.
Yeah, so we were aware that the guys had the show and Speakers Corner is working on the project, but we're not visible. So we decided to put on a photo shoot, which is going to be very glamorous and, you know, editorial, but it's going to be Speakers Corner, the girls, but us in our city of Bradford, in the streets that we grew up in local areas to us where we used to hang out as you know, where we used to hang out, and just kind of embracing our city, but also the heritage that we bring with us. So we have an idea of just kind of using our jewelry that replicates what was passed on to us from our grandmas, and just bringing that and kind of showing this kind of how we've kind of been able to kind of intertwine both our heritage, but where we grew up in the streets. And we are hoping to exhibit this as soon as you kind of walk into the show. But this is kind of, the show is for the guys, but the photo shoot is hoping to kind of show that there's another side to just this, and there's lots of other themes that are being explored as well as not as well as cars. It's more about identity as well and growing up in Bradford. So yeah.
Thanks, Sajda. So yeah, we're hoping that that'll be like an installation in the box office as you come in. We've got a couple more questions. There's a question from Esther in the chat. Just wondering if there are any plans for outreach around the show and connecting with car clubs in the vicinity of the performance. So Sajda, you've been working a little bit on that, haven't you, thinking about car clubs? So I don't know if you want to pick that up as well.
Yeah, so we've been looking with connecting with other car clubs around the UK. We found a really cool a gay car meetup, which is a bunch of gay people who are interested in cars, and it's just exclusively for them. But yeah, we're looking into kind of how we bring lots of other people with different interests, but with the interest of cars, and yeah, just looking at that.
Yeah, we're planning that before each show that there would be a car club, basically. It'd be a kind of a way of getting more people involved, and there is car clubs all over the country and all over the world, so it would be about us engaging with them before we went to a place and making sure that they either do a car meet at our performance site or somewhere else, but hopefully they'd be able to do the car meet at our site, because we'll have sound system and stuff like that, so we can kind of, like, car clubs and car meetups are something that happen anyway, but we can kind of amplify it with music and stuff like that. We've got another question that's a quick one about the runtime of the show. We're trying to make it no longer than an hour. Yeah, just because we like to have impact in that way. Amy from Transform is just asking, would love to know more about the performance world beyond the text. What other mediums and practice are we inspired by and want to draw on? I don't know if Rosie or Wojtek, if you want to answer that.
So yeah, are you going or am I going?
I was just going. You go first, then I can say something after.
Okay, sorry, what was the question again? If there is something beyond the text that would create sort of... well, I think the cars themselves are incredibly interesting in a way that they are sort of self-contained, incredible sort of disco machines where they have this sound systems installed, and there's also light. So if you don't see it as a car, you can see it as this kind of strange machine, which also, you know, we're gonna play with. I was interested in the kind of acoustics of the car, where you as an audience, if you see somebody in the car, if they are talking in the car, it's kind of a private space, and then there are sort of power relations there, because if you can't hear what the people in the cars are saying, there's one thing, you can then open the windows slowly and then reveal what they are saying. I don't know if this is exactly what you mean by the question, but you know, just sort of playing with the mechanics of the car. And I am very interested in the car as well, as a sort of sonic machines in themselves. So playing music and just kind of looking at the music which is being produced specifically for this kind of sound system. So something with quite a lot of beat and bass, and how it impacts the body, because it's very much about the physical kind of perception of the sound in the car. Where you have a massive speaker at the back, you obviously will perceive the music in a different way, and I think the music plays a big role in the whole kind of car making, car transforming culture, where they basically becomes this incredibly powerful machines, and this then becomes part of the identity of the car, the particular sound systems. I don't know exactly if this is what you mean.
Rosie, do you want to talk
Oh,
about...
everyone's frozen now. I don't know.
Amy said yes, really interesting. Rosie, do you want to say anything else to that?
Yeah, it's like, so there's lots of kind of like really exciting kind of aesthetic things, I think, that are like possible, both like using the kind of the materials of the cars and the kind of materials that are used to modify the cars. So like the kind of things we've been talking about, and like seeing people physically building cars as a kind of like both practical and kind of like poetic gesture, I suppose. And then there's also all sorts of other kind of images that we're thinking about, like giant airbags, or like kind of hacking the lighting of the car park so that we can have control of the lighting. So it feels like the kind of material, and that's like physical materials, and the world of the piece are like sitting both like with the text, like but not illustrating it. There's a kind of like another kind of level of meaning and stuff that we're using design for. Does that make sense?
Amy says, awesome, thanks, Rosie. Sorry, I'm just trying, there's so many questions right now. Sam has asked if it would be good for a family audience, and what age would it be suitable for. The Bradford Modified Club, Ali is really passionate about it being for, like, they really are inclusive of children. So we know that the car meetups will definitely be really exciting for children. So yeah, we would love children to be involved, but there will be a certain level of swearing. I mean, we're in discussion about how much swearing to put in or put out, but maybe we could do a daytime performance with less swearing, and then an evening performance, which is the swearing version. There's also a question from Fergus about audience, and if the work is for Muslim or non-Muslim audiences, and how do we is there a risk that if being for a non-Muslim audience it becomes a tourism into different cultures? And Fergus has kind of acknowledged that that's quite a complex question. I mean, we've been thinking quite a lot about that, and one of the things we've been thinking, does anyone want to answer that actually?
Yeah. Yeah, no, we definitely don't want it to. It's not going to be like Islam 101. Like people can Google that. It's not. I think it's more about how Islam impacts the daily life of Ali, Sahel, and Caspar, and like the clip with Ayatul Kursi. Like we ain't gonna explain the meaning of it. We just know that when for protection we read that for ourselves. But yeah, the aim's not to educate. Like it's more like this is us. This is the voice. This is like, and whoever's coming is coming. But there's no aim to specifically target, from what I understand anyway.
Yeah. So the
yeah.
oh,
Yeah,
so sorry. The first car rally we had in Meetup, the first ever Peaceophobia event, there were different types of people. It was a very diverse audience. So we want the same for the play, and actually want it to be able to access a wider audience. And it's not just a Muslim thing. It's more of an open audience, and everyone's welcome to come. But there's no like selective audience type. Obviously, we know that some parts we do need to edit. We don't want to make things too political or too, in a sense, focus on Islam. But yeah, it's not. We want everyone.
Yeah, Iram, just on that as well, I'd just like to talk about the first car rally, how it came across for people. I mean, for whoever were there, and there's a video, the Peaceophobia video, the Radical Acts video, there was actually a lot more white people there than actually Muslim people. That was one because of how diverse my car group is. People come from all over, from different skin colours. Now, that in particular car meet-up, that rally, it was, I approached my car club people and I said, members, and I said to them that there is, this is what's happening, it's around Islamophobia, you know, would you like to come down and stuff? And it wasn't like, they didn't feel out of order, if that makes sense. They just maybe, they seemed really interested in it more than anything else. So I think, so I think that kind of, I think it depends how you kind of approach it with your mind, with your mindset. If you kind of feel kind of shook by it, if you think, oh, Islamophobia is not for me, then yeah, it kind of becomes that in your head, like, oh, it's not meant for me. But there will definitely be audiences there, from what I know, in terms of car club members. There'll be plenty of people from different backgrounds.
At the roundabout, take the second exit.
I think the main thing is to bring people together. We don't want to segregate anyone from
Exit the roundabout onto A7.
I'm gonna mute Ali because Ali's driving to Scotland.
I know we can hear the sat nav in the back. Yeah, what I was saying was we want to bring people together, and we don't want people to be segregated. But yeah, I hope that answers your question, whoever asked that question.
Yeah, thanks, Iram. Thanks, Ali. So there's just other questions. Kirsty has asked, how did it feel for the guys, and have they ever been involved in a performance or rehearsal process like this? And do you have acting experience? I wonder, Sahel, do you want to answer that? And maybe talk about Caspar. Caspar's not here, but maybe just talk about Caspar and Ali as well. But you know, you can answer that, like how you found it being in that rehearsal process.
It was really good actually, because I'm actually missing Evie's warm-up sessions before we start acting. So I mean, I've done a lot of acting before, but I've done it in Urdu. I've done dramas. Ali's done rap videos. I've done rap videos. Caspar speaks in front of hundreds of people on Friday prayers. So, I mean, experience-wise, I think we've got quite a lot of experience than someone that's fresh off the street. But sorry, what was the other question again? I lost my train of thought.
Just how you found the rehearsal, like if you've been in a rehearsal process like that, or
No, I've never been in a rehearsal process like that, because it was basically I used to be here's a script, right, there's your lines, go do it. There was no warm-up sessions, there was no talking about anything. And here it's really organized, and I was really impressed by it. And I thought, oh wow, I think I should go away from the Asian acting and go more into this. But it was really organized, and I mean, I don't know what to say. I can't really flaw it. It was just really cool, and it was a really good experience on picking up new. And when you're at the R&D, I don't know why, I don't know how, you just end up talking so much, and you end up saying all your feelings. Like normally on the street, I won't be telling people what I've been going through in life. I think Zia might be a really good interrogation officer. I'm not too sure. And then also you forget that they recorded there, so you end up saying loads of meaningful and deep things. And I don't know, you just bring out the deep inner sadness out of you, and then you end up talking. And yeah, and then when it all came together, when he was playing back in the scripts, and he was like, oh, did I actually say that on the script? And you didn't realize he was recording all that time. But yeah, I mean, this is the best one I've ever done. I'd say this is I mean, I've done like Urdu dramas were really hard for me because it was a different language. And I mean, there I had to keep repeating my lines, but here it's just literally, I'm acting, but I'm not really acting because this is what it's day to day for me. So me talking to you normally about it, even in the play, it's like an everyday thing. So it just comes naturally with cars. But I don't think you really need acting experience because it is what it is. It's our daily lives. Thank you.
Thanks, that was really good. Thank you. That kind of leads on to Jerry's question as well about the script, and she said she was interested in what Zia said about working on poetic elements. Zia, do you want to pick that up?
So that was more. I think this week, the last week was I think just about getting structure and the stories down, and just also so that also the boys can just imagine what it's going to be like. So in terms of working on the script, like I think got a month or two to sort of trim down and sort of tweak things and try out more sort of, I guess, imagery, text-based imagery and stuff like that. But I think because the first thing is the stories, we want to get the stories from the boys down and then work from there in terms of, I guess, the sound of the text, but also still want it to sound like them as well. That's because this is about them, and just that sort of transition from talking jargon about cars and stuff like that into sort of maybe a stream of consciousness or into some sort of couplets or into some sort of monologue. So, but those are things we still, with more time, we'll be able to play with as well.
Thank you. We've got another question about making work while social distancing, and how possible did it feel? Was it frustrating? Was it same? I think, to be honest, in terms of the bonds that we made and how productive it was incredibly productive, and people worked together so well, and we were just having to be respectful and considerate. And Sajda was our COVID-19 officer. So Sajda, I don't know if you want to say anything about just the actual physical like what you did.
Yeah, so it's really about kind of reassuring people that you are taking precautions and that it is a safe space. So if people do feel ill or if people do feel a bit, unsure, they can have a person to come to and talk to and it'd be okay. So every day in the morning we take people's temperatures, and that was some sort of reassurance. We all felt that it was, we're taking a precaution, and then, having this kind of open conversation about it as well, and being honest and respectful of everyone. And at first it was obviously a bit odd, but then this is kind of like the new norm, and it is just about having a safe space and making sure that you know the information that you need to know, and that you're confident enough and letting other people feel safe as well.
Thank you. I feel like we've addressed most of the questions. There was one question actually about how much work and writing did we have before the 5 days of R&D. Zia.
Yeah, we had a weekend early March, which was recording and interrogation on my part, and sort of a weekend which was sort of talking about the themes and the emotions that we want in the show, and sort of just hearing stories and trying out drama games and exercises and generating material, which then fed into the draft for the week. And then throughout the week we were tweaking what was mainly generated from that weekend. But then on top of that, we generated more stuff this week, so for the next one. So yeah, just a lot of recordings. But yeah.
Zia worked quite furiously because we would do a day of R&D and then Zia would go away and write stuff and wake up at 5 a.m. and bring more things into rehearsal. So it was quite inspiring and productive. And we were kind of live editing all the time in those 5 days. So yeah. I missed someone's question earlier on. Fiona's question about, do we see this needing to happen at night or can it work in daylight? The car park that we've been rehearsing in so far is like kind of semi-outdoor space because it has light coming in, so it's covered, but then it has light coming in. So we're kind of, obviously, to make it as fully theatrical as we can, we do want to have, we're planning on doing it at kind of like twilight time. But we are thinking as well about how it can still work in daylight so that you don't lose anything, you don't lose too much in a daylight show. But yeah, at the minute we're kind of working in a kind of semi-outdoor environment. Yeah, I think that's all the questions. And just to add that, Kate's put on the chat that Fuel developed the risk assessments and method statements for how we did the social distance in rehearsal. So if anyone wants to see that or use that, it was really brilliant and helpful. And I think we're happy to share that. So yeah. I think that's all the questions, and it's been really great actually. We didn't know how this would go, how it would work, but it's actually been really interesting and really great to share it with people. If anyone's got any more thoughts or comments or anything they want to find out about or chat about, then do get in touch with us. I think either on Twitter or Instagram or anything like that, but also I think you might have my email or Molly's email. If anyone has a question directly for Zia or Speaker's Corner or anyone else, just get in touch, and I'm sure, yeah, either a question or an insight or reflection, yeah, anything like that would be great. And we'd love to hear more, because we're very early days. Like, we're going to have 2 weeks rehearsal in September, and then we're going to have another 2 weeks rehearsal in April, and then stage the show in Bradford in kind of early April. So look out for more of what's going on, and I think we'll do some other version of this again another day, and we're hoping to live stream and make the show itself in April really accessible so that people can watch that online as well, and then we're hoping to tour after April through 2021 and 22. So yeah, thank you everyone for joining us, and take care, and yeah, this is really nice. Thank you. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Have fun in Scotland, I mean.
Yeah, Scotland, I'm here now.
Are you?
Yeah, more or less. Glasgow. In Glasgow.
Nice. Oh yeah, so Hale's Instagram, if people want to check out Hale's incredible cars.
No, I think someone on there said that they wanted to see the pictures of the cars and if you can share them. I don't know if it was on the chat or it was on the question.
Chat, but
Oh, no, we don't. Yeah, they did. It was Chris who wanted to see some photos of the cars. He's gone now, but I can send round some photos of the cars from the R&D. And yeah, Sahil's put his Instagram handle in the chat. So yeah, for more pics. That was the oldest thing I've ever said.
All right, thanks everybody. I think everyone else has gone now. It's probably us. But thank you.
Now.
Talking to each other.
That was really good. Thanks. We'll catch up soon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.